Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants, Hollywood Talk.
Twitter is polarized by Leaving Neverland and R. Kelly. Joe Giudice's future is still unknown, and Dina Lohan shows out on Wendy Williams. Lisa Rinna threatens legal action, and comedian Heather McMahan rejoins the Rants and keeps it all real right now. Let the ranting begin. I am joined via telephone by actress and comedian Heather McMahan. Welcome back to the Rants.
Hi, Grant. I'm so happy to be back.
Heather, you've been on this show since episode 9. I mean, we're now on to 118, and you've popped in and out, and I really appreciate that.
Listen, this is an iconic podcast, and, Grant, the first time I met you, you and I both just realized we had the gift for gab to, talk about everything that is pop culture. So it's an honor to be back.
Well, thank you. We both have strong opinions, and that's what makes for a good show. I mean, we pretty much stand strong. I think that's what makes us so good for this.
Nowadays, it's like you got to stand for something. And,
Yep.
and I have a strong stance on the Lohans. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the perfect show for that. Because that's what we're talking about. Hey, we're going to get there, but like Fox News, they're reporting on it, so why can't Grant's Rants?
There you go. I mean, this is worldwide international news.
Yep. Before I get there, though, I have to talk about this. It's been a big week. It started off with HBO's Leaving Neverland. It ended with R. Kelly basically in flames. I mean, this documentary, this stuck with me all week. I know you've been traveling. Have you had a chance to watch any part of it?
Of course I did. I did have to ask my followers for somebody to share their HBO Go sign-in information.
Smart.
Yes. This was wild. And I think what was most alarming after I watched the documentary, and I watched it in live time, was just how evil everyone on Twitter was towards these guys. I mean, truly, I was shook at the fact that people were actually thinking that these guys were lying.
It was like a new form of evil. You've got these men who I believe every single word. I do too. There's no degree of, well, I don't know. I mean, no, I'm all like, these men are telling the truth. And to put yourself out there, knowing, and they knew what they were doing by putting themselves out there and they were going to get it. But the machine of hate behind them that people won't even consider, not only that they're telling the truth, but they wouldn't even consider watching. I made the mistake, and you can check out the Twitter if you want. I mean, I shot back at some of these people and gave them the facts and stuff, and it's a losing battle, and I need to stop. But I just feel so terrible for these guys. I just want to give them a hug and tell them I believe them. I mean, it stuck with me all week.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And whether we're all fans of Michael Jackson, I don't think there's anybody who's going to argue that he was an incredibly talented guy. And I hear the argument, well, he's not alive and not here to defend himself. But regardless, their stories seemed too similar. And when you really take a look back at it, like, let's really just unpeel this. It was so odd when we actually said it out loud that he let these little kids go on tour with him and sleep with him in the bed. Yeah, that didn't seem weird to you? Like, when you think about it, if a star nowadays did that, let's say Justin Bieber, he's still young, but like, I don't know, like an older star, Ricky Martin, were to just have a bunch of, I want these kids to go on tour with me and, stay in my bed without the parents. Everything about that is weird. I talked to some older people, like my parents' age, about this. And they said that back then, like, people knew, but it wasn't something you could say in the press, because if you did, you were considered a racist and you were considered hateful towards Michael. So, like, I think there's a lot of people to blame for this. Of course, he was the one who I believe carried out these actions, but there's a certain level of being enabled. And the whole thing is disgusting to me, and I can't stand any of it. And of course, a lot of these people believe that both men who spoke in the documentary are out for money. It's been everywhere. I'm still breaking news to people. These men were not paid to do this. Their mothers were not paid to go on the show and basically character assassinate themselves to the world. What would they get out of this? I mean, it's just insane. And the details were so graphic and so alarming. I can't even fathom how somebody could come up with these things that happen to these guys and just like, be able to roll it off your tongue that easy if you were lying.
Right.
There's no way.
100%. And the only people that are with their hand out for money, I don't know if you saw this, but Taj Jackson, the nephew of Michael, he's the one who's looking to profit. He's got a GoFundMe out. He's looking to make $777,000 for a, quote, untitled MJ doc series. So the only one who's looking for cash, as usual, is the Jackson family.
Is a family member.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I saw an interview with like some of the brothers, and they were like, there's no way this happened. I really find it so fascinating that people didn't think about this sooner. And, that's the thing with the R. Kelly documentary. When I watched that 6-part series, I was shook to my core.
Right.
And I remember saying out loud, like by myself watching this, thinking, when that tape got circulated around, kind of in the rap community, and people would sell it on the corner like hot, like, sex tape DVDs, like it was like the Kim K, sex tape. It's like, this was involving children. And that's one of the things where it's like, oh, we've been making jokes about this for forever. I was really young when it happened, and I'm sure you were too. But now as like an adult, you're like, wait, people actually like made jokes about this poor little girl. Everyone's made light of this situation and joked about it for so long. And now everyone's pissed that we're finally taking a hard look at the facts. I don't know.
At the end of all this, I've noticed that there's been this strategy that's been put in place called Flood the Zone. And it's like this machine, I guess, this mobilization of Jackson fans, no doubt probably pushed from the estate themselves, to basically just flood the system, refute everything, like this like MJinnocent.com thing where they're looking for money. Like that's the whole thing. That's the whole game. And that's the scariest part, is that these people now who are out there telling the truth that I believe, are now being muffled by all this BS. I've never really seen such a thing. I know it happens, but I mean, on a level like this, I mean, there's like buses all over the UK with huge advertisements about this website. It's really out of hand.
Listen, you can flood the system all day long, but if the facts are there, the facts are there. Like, what are you going to do? All of a sudden, everyone's going to be so pro Michael Jackson that we're just going to forget about this documentary? I'm not forgetting about it. That's for damn sure.
Well, that's it. And like they claim like, well, there are no facts because they lied and all this stuff. But like the facts are how you get over and how you deal with being sexually molested. And that's what the truth is. People don't understand the psychology around it. That, yeah, stories may not match up, but that's par for the course with these things. I mean, these people are going through trauma. Yeah. It's so sad. But I think
what was also wild is when they're trying to say that, oh, well, they refuted these stories and they said he didn't do anything back when these guys had done their original testimony. Okay, they were 22 years old. I put myself in their shoes. You're 22 years old. You've grown up with this guy. Yeah, again, you're trying to process what has actually happened to you. Of course, you're going to protect your predator. You're 22. Yeah. Like, I'm in a completely different space in my life now that I'm 32 than I was when I was, basically still a kid.
I really am fascinated by the whole thing, and I'm still gripped. But I can't listen to Michael Jackson. Not right now. I never was a big fan, to be honest with you. But for the time being, I thought it was playing at a restaurant the other day, and I almost didn't go in because I was physically turned off. I don't know how I'll feel in 6 months, but for the time being, I'm good. No, thank you.
No, I feel the exact same way. I don't need to hear it. And I think, you can be one of the greatest artists of all time. You can be, just be talented beyond measure. But if you're a creep, you're a creep. I'm sorry. It's weird. He's a weirdo. I'm sorry. Saying it. Standing firm in it.
Another weirdo, this R. Kelly situation. I couldn't help but love that photo of Gayle King, composed, professional, iconic, and him as an absolute animal.
Yeah. And honestly, him trying to do his little spin and make himself seem to be innocent was just, I was laughing. I was like, this is crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone seems to collectively view this as a performance. And everyone seems to, I don't mean everyone in the world, but the majority of the public opinion has him guilty. Yet we were just talking about Michael Jackson, and like that's this whole smear campaign against these people. No one believes them. I put this on Instagram. How? What is the difference here? Now I know the difference is level of celebrity, but that shouldn't mean anything in these situations. That's so frustrating to me. This is a frustrating show. I'm sorry.
No, it is so frustrating. And now I guess there's that one girl who is coming out and claiming, I'm not being held against my will. Yet her parents, of course, were at the forefront in the documentary saying, we haven't seen our kid. Okay, if you're in a normal relationship with an adult, how come we're not allowed to have any communication with you and haven't been for the last 3 years? It is, that whole situation is so wild. The facts about how he got Aaliyah pregnant at like 15, mind blowing. So it's not just like with this case, it's not just one kid. It's like dozens of victims that R. Kelly has had. It's unbelievable.
Yep. Now, I mean, I can't wait for this to all finally just play out now. And I can't believe it took this long. But I'm not that interested as I am in this Michael Jackson thing. I don't know why. But I'm just not that
because
gripped.
I think it's so obvious that R. Kelly is guilty, and when the facts are there, the facts are there. With the Michael Jackson, there's still a little bit of like anonymity to it because he is passed. So it's like we got to have one other person come out to really just drive the nail home. You know what I'm saying?
You nailed it exactly. That's the difference.
Yeah. And and again with the R. Kelly. He had his tour manager and all these other people who worked for him who came out and confessed. But with Michael Jackson, that camp is so tight-lipped. I think if a tour manager or, an assistant or somebody else came out that had seen something and they say something, I think that'll really kind of drive the message home.
I agree. They need something good to happen, something big to happen now. It's time because there's all these people who have enabled him.
Right.
And I don't get it.
Right.
I want to get your take.
I don't either.
I want to get your take on Joe Giudice, Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa's husband, for those not aware. He was set to be released March 14th. Now, the Federal Bureau of Prisons lists has him at an unknown status as he awaits his deportation decision.
I've got one word. Arrivederci, Joe. Like, bye.
He's done. You think he's done?
This is so wild. We're like, oh, he shouldn't be deported. He shouldn't be deported. Okay, yes, I do think it's a harsh, sentence. But also, you're going to Italy. It's not like you're going back to, Syria that's in the middle of a civil war. It's Italy. I go to Italy twice a year to go vacation. Your family's there. Why are we acting like this guy's going to,
exiled off the coast of New Zealand.
Yes. Oh, I don't feel bad for you drinking an Aperol Spritz, eating calamari down in Naples. I don't feel bad.
That is such a Heather answer. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Right on brand for you. I love it. Yeah, well,
so on brand.
New Real Housewife Jackie said she feels for the 4 daughters. She feels, for them, but not for Teresa, and that she feels like Teresa's already moved on, which I'm starting to believe too. I'm starting to think that Teresa.
I am too. I think Teresa has emotionally had one foot out the door after she did her time. Of course, she saved face and went on TV and said, I'm staying strong with my husband for my kids, but it's really for the kids. And we've all known that Teresa is, she's one of those gals who's actually dumb as a fox. She sees what's going on. I think Teresa deserves better. I thought Joe was a skis bag from the day he came on camera.
Yeah. It's just like they talked about at the reunion there. And I mean, I'm Italian, but I can't fully relate to this, but their culture is that they never speak out about their emotions. And I don't think we'll ever get a raw, unedited view of what you're saying is how she feels like she could do better and she got screwed. I don't ever think we're going to have that moment to really get into that. I think it's going to be divorced. It didn't work out. Our family was split up and that's it. But I want to know the psychology behind all of it with her and what she knows. Because I feel like the lawyer, this is just me thinking, I feel like the lawyer told her there's probably not a good chance your husband's going to hang out here. So just know that. And I think she just went with this. Yeah.
I mean, listen, she's been getting ripped at the gym doing her fitness competitions. And unless she's trying to look like a bikini babe for Joe, I'm sure she's got somebody else on the side. Let's be real.
Well, last week on this show, if anyone hasn't heard, my grandmother called in and ripped Teresa for doing that fitness competition, saying that's not something you do when your husband's in jail. So, We share, you share an opinion with her, which I kind of agree. I didn't think about it until I really thought about it. When I saw those episodes, I just said, all right, this is like her storyline for the season. But no, you're right. What is the motivation behind that and having your ass out like that? Yeah, it's true.
Right.
I
like to work out, but I've never gotten to like that point in my life, you know?
See, I don't like to work out. I mean, I wish I could get to that point in my life just while I'm young. You know what I mean? Like while I'm young and I feel like I can pull it all off and I'm at like the peak of health. But to me, I don't have I don't have it in me. It's not going to happen. I've kind of accepted that in this life, I'm not going to have that body. I'm just not.
Hey, baby steps, Grant. I mean, I've got a wedding to get ready for, and my motivation is still at an all-time low. So I feel I mean, I'm supposed to be shredding for the wedding, as they call it, and I'm like, I don't know, bulking for the ball. I don't know what I've been doing, but I've just been eating everybody out of house and home.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have more with Heather. That and more in a moment. Now this. I've been really thankful for my new partnership with Grant's Rants and Green Chef. While I may not be working out regularly like I admitted, I am eating healthier. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well both easy and affordable with plans to fit every kind of lifestyle. You know, when I chose meals, I actually was really impressed, and you know I don't impress easy, on how much they had to offer. Meal plans included something for everyone. Paleo, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, Mediterranean, health smart, lean and clean, keto, gluten-free, and me, omnivore. That's what they had that I like. I don't know if you caught my Instagram stories of me chopping onions with sunglasses on in my house, but yes, that was me making barramundi fish with lemon caper sauce, and before that I made the tamari balsamic chicken, and tonight it's Southwest beef patties. You know, I really like that barramundi fish because it was full of flavor. I love fish, first of all, and it looked just like the pictures when I was done, so it was extra rewarding. Everything is hand-picked and delivered right to your door. Very easy. Everything with me came frozen and fresh and compartmentalized. With Green Chef, you can enjoy clean ingredients that you can trust, seasonally sourced for the peak of freshness. Recipes include pre-made measured sauces, dressings, spices, and all this comes together so you can get more flavor and less time. There's a special offer here, and this is a way to support the podcast. For $50 off your first box of Green Chef, go to greenchef.us/grantsrants. And if I can do it in my little kitchenette, you can do it. Take $50 off your first box of Green Chef when you go to greenchef.us/grantsrants.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back with Heather McMahan, and I'm so grateful that you took the time to come on the show. Thank you. I know you're super busy, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Hey, thanks for having me. I always love catching up with you and just, honestly talking some shit. So Let's get right back into it.
Perfect. I want to get your take on this because I'm heading into my rant of the day.
Grant, rant of the day.
My rant of the day is 100% going to these Real Housewives blogs and Facebook fan pages. I've put myself in these situations because I know who my audience is for this show, and I wanted to connect with more people and get them to check out the show. Now, whatever. I don't know if it was successful or what, but these pages are really stressing me out, and they are more negative and have more opinionated, uneducated people than ever before. And I'm really annoyed because I can be opinionated, but I don't come on here and assassinate people's characters. And I'm just really annoyed by the whole thing. These people, they base everything off of what they see on the show. So what they need to realize is, and you know this, Heather, with reality TV, it's like you see maybe 40% at most of what's actually happening. So these people who decide...
It's all overproduced.
Yeah. So these people who decide, well, Kyle Richards is the scum of the earth and an awful person because in season 2 she said this, and now in this season she's saying that. I can't with these people who make these sweeping judgments over like the little doled out morsels of content that we get from Housewives. I can't stand it.
But you have to realize that these are like basic bitches from, Iowa, or sitting around, and this is the highlight of their week. They don't have any sense of like going out and having any sort of actual reality check.
I guess. I mean, I maybe because I can see through the production of it all, and I'm like, all right, like, I don't like Lisa Vanderpump, but I've said it on this show for like the last 6 weeks how much I don't care for her. I don't know her personally, but I'm also not up here calling her a bitch. Now, yes, I said that she should be fired. That's my opinion, but I'm not up here like, sending death threats, and that's what's happening.
It's coming full circle with the, staying off Twitter for the Finding Neverland Michael Jackson saga. I have to stay off Twitter too with the Real Housewives. People get just as vicious. They're animals. And you're thinking, first of all, Claire from, Florida, cool your jets. If this is a fake reality TV show, let's remember what we're watching here.
It kind of comes down from the top. I'm not saying Lisa Vanderpump is mobilizing anyone. I'm not saying that she's telling anyone to do these things. But where is someone to come in and say, all right, thank you, but stop. And I know you can't control people. I understand. You can't say what they do. But she's so highly manipulative that people kind of take a cue from that. That's my view. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
I think you're overthinking it a little bit. And honestly, when it comes to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they're truly one of my favorites in the franchise. But I just want to see Lisa Rinna, Erica Jane, Kyle, and who am I? And that's it. I just want to see those three like hanging out, grabbing drinks, getting drunk, and dancing on tables. I could get rid of the entire rest of the cast. Boring, basic Dorit. I can't stand her. She's from Connecticut with this fake British accent. Teddy's a sweetheart, but like snooze fest. I'm over all of it.
So you're done with Vanderpump too, it sounds.
I've been done with Vanderpump forever. I just wanted to get an appropriate haircut. The hair. She's a stunning woman, but I'm like, can't we just get something a little shorter? I don't know. I can't. And Vanderpump doesn't even need the Real Housewives anymore. She's got Vanderpump Rules, and I'm sure whatever other spinoff she's going to do.
Well, that's the thing. Now, Lisa Rinna is threatening legal action against her co-star, Lisa Vanderpump, over this rumored spinoff. And she put this big Insta story out. She feels used, and she was bitching about not being compensated. This goes back to what I've always said about Lisa Rinna. She puts out this thing that she'll do anything. She'll always say yes, but for money. Which I can't blame her, but like she's all about that compensation. That's what it all comes down to. Don't let people fool you.
I love Lisa Rinna. She's my favorite person on the planet right now. I find her so freaking refreshing, and she should be compensated. So I'm a Rinna fan all day, every day.
Well, a source says that Lisa Vanderpump deliberately floated those rumors. We talked about this possible spinoff on this show last week, and I bet she would. I bet she would because it would take away from the negative press against her and her businesses, and it will only elevate her. So I believe it. And not only that, but yeah, I'm sure she does have a show, a possible spinoff, maybe in a sizzle reel, a status, maybe in a development status. But and I know that Bravo probably has a list of 15 shows long that are in development right now for them. So, does that constitute a press release and all these articles and all this stuff? I don't think so.
But if Lisa Rinna is stirring the pot just to see if she can get another check out of something, I say go for it, girlfriend. Go for it.
I like it. Yeah, no, you're thinking of the business, which it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But people got on Brandy when they said that she was only there for the money. Now, all of a sudden, that's what everybody does. So just pointing that out, too.
What? If we actually think any of these women are friends? Like, wake up, people.
Right.
It's a show.
Everyone's there to create a show and a project and a product and a certain amount of episodes. People don't realize that they're too wrapped up in the minutia, and they don't get, like, you can comment on it, but like I comment with like, an eye roll. But these people, they take it too seriously. It's threatening people's lives. I'm over it. This has been my rant of the day.
That's my opinion!
I'm unfollowing those groups.
Unfollow them. You need to take your blood pressure medicine. You need to have a cold glass of Chardonnay, have a snack, get your blood sugar right, and relax.
What advice? That is perfect to me. No, I mean, really, that's going to apply to a lot of things beyond Housewives. We're all doing a little better than Dina Lohan, though. I can't wait to talk about this.
I have a very intense love-hate relationship with the Lohans. When Dina went on Wendy Williams the other day, the first thing out of my mouth was, what is she on? Did she not seem like she was on something that whole interview?
I've studied this very, very closely. Now, she did an interview years back on Dr. Phil. where she did basically behave the same way. The hand gestures, the erratic movements, the frizzy hair, it was all present. So I watched her on Big Brother. She is like a 9-year-old girl on ADD and pays no attention to anything. Very, very quick to move, but she's also a very skittish person, almost like a skittish dog after they've gotten out of a shelter. Like, that's how I view her. And I'm not surprised. I think she was very intimidated, a spokesperson for the family. As one person, it's always a spokesperson for the family making all these statements. They must be very busy. They said that she was nervous the night before to do the show. So I was not surprised by her behavior, but I mean, the comments, the YouTube comments are just, they've got her on
nervous.
They've got her on everything.
I can't with that. I can't. She was nervous to do the show. Well, of course, but her, like you said, skittish. It was like an untrusting cat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everything about her, the way she kept like kind of playing with her hair and looking down and looking away. It seemed to me exactly as you said it, like a 9-year-old girl who hasn't taken her ADHD medicine. She was just kind of all over the place. And the fact that she wouldn't actually like straightforwardly address the boyfriend situation. Okay, you've been dating this guy for 5 years, but you never met. You're Dina Lohan. That doesn't seem odd to you. You're a public figure. And she was like, oh, well, he doesn't really know what I do. Okay, honey. And you don't know what he does. You don't even know who he is.
You know, she had like she knew she was going to be asked this. Like, what else are they going to ask her, to be honest with you? So, like, she should have had like a full, like, where's her press manager? Like, where are these people to come up with like at least like a line, an answer for such things? You know, as opposed to just like floundering and literally throwing her hands in the air. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was either. I was literally waiting for somebody to, sitting in the audience, like you said, like a PR guy to, for her to kind of look to the side and have them, be telling her like cut it out, like sit still. But they just let her go rogue and do her own thing.
I mean, that's someone's job to not make their talent be nervous and uncomfortable and to go prepared to promote what they want to promote. I don't know what she was there to really promote either. They threw in the Lohan Beach Club at the end, which like was the last 30 seconds. There's a lawsuit, there's a hacking, and there's always a lawsuit. Now the next one.
Oh, the hacking was killing me. Okay, when she defended Lindsay and said, oh, Lindsay's account was hacked. Now I do believe that they probably get prank phone called 24/7 by people, but that has been an excuse for the Lohans for so long, that Lindsay will say something crazy on Instagram or Twitter and then, oh, she's been hacked. No, she hasn't. It's not like she put up like a nude photo of herself or put up something that was damaging towards her. It was clearly in like Lindsay's erratic behavior and in her voice, putting something out there into the, ethosphere. And then people saying, oh, okay, well, Lindsay's being crazy. And then they're like, oh, someone on my staff compromised and got into my Instagram. No, they didn't. Lindsay was on cocaine and did it herself. Come on.
What would anyone have to gain to write a tweet from Lindsay slamming Tamar Braxton?
Yes,
what would anyone have to gain?
It's a little too specific for it just to be something to throw Lindsay under the bus.
Yeah, and there were like very specific hashtags about karma and things. Now, Dina claims that her daughter would never speak that way. I mean, to me, that tweet reads exactly how Lindsay would speak.
100%. That tickles me pink to think that she was just like, oh, my daughter? No. Well, your daughter also, crashed her Porsche on the Pacific Coast Highway and then jumped out of it and pretended like she wasn't driving. So let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah, she'd do that. So I think she'd send a tweet.
I'm with you.
I need to give a shout out. This is a first and probably the only time it'll happen. A shout out to Fox News Channel. Apparently, there's not enough going on in the world to writing this up. This is my source. I always give the sources. This is my source for this conversation. Their article was Dina Lohan's, quote, bizarre Wendy Williams show appearance was due to nerves, source says. So thank you, Fox News, for doing the heavy lifting for me. I mean, what? Who's at Fox News is watching Wendy Williams and reporting? Who?
Right. And also, when did Fox News start caring about anything entertainment based?
Especially Dina. You're going to start with Dina?
Dina? Right. I mean, they're bored. They're like, well, Trump hasn't done anything too crazy in the last 24 hours. So I guess we got to pop Dina Lohan into this news cycle. Wow. I'm embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
How their whole family works. Really and truly, you never know what you're going to get. There's been zero consistency. And, the ebbs and flows that family's been through one day we like the dad, one day we don't. Lindsay's good one day, the next day she's not. I just feel like they're all kind of enabling each other. And it's just overwhelming. And I honestly feel sorry for the whole family.
I will always be loyal. And Dina, you have a place here on the show. That's it.
I love that.
I want to talk with you. I know you were just out here in LA. I want to know what happened. I want to know you're on a bunch of meetings. When I go to New York, I line up a bunch of stuff, but I don't have as much going on as you do. What was going on? What's going on out here?
I mean, I was out for whatever they call pilot season these days, and was taking a ton of meetings. It's been very interesting in my career, Grant, because I was always a character actor and a comedian, and now people want to, really find out what Heather, like who I am as a personality, what I'm about, which I am totally flattered by. So I've had a lot of big meetings, which is exciting. But you know how it goes in LA. You have a meeting about a meeting. So I don't hold my breath until anything is signed in blood. Yeah. So until then, I have nothing too crazy to announce. But I tell everyone, stay tuned to my Instagram. Follow me at Heather K. McMahan. And trust me, as soon as anything hot hits the press, y'all will be the first ones to find out.
What I love about the gram is that you're so grateful to the people that follow you who are always rooting for you. I feel like you have a great support behind you with all these people who are just like hardcore stans. And I have to say, I go on different groups and they say like, who should have a reality show? What personality is really popping for you? And you're always on the list. So you are on so many people's radar. It's only a matter of time.
Well, I am so honored and flattered, and I adore my followers. And I think it's because, I'm not a celebrity. I'm an everyday girl who has been in this business for a while, and now I'm starting to get a little traction. So people really feel invested in my career, and they send me messages all the time like, Heather, we want you to win. We're praying you book a show. We're praying you do this. So it's not even just reality. It's that people are truly invested because they see the process of what it takes to make even the tiniest stride in this business. So I am just so honored and grateful for everybody who continues to encourage me on a daily basis. And I hope that I can encourage people to just live their truth and live their best life through the stuff that I, put up on the gram.
Now, I've gone back and forth recently about the power of influencers, and some of it irritates me, but I also get that it's like completely necessary. Would you say that your Instagram following has, put you where you are? Do you feel like it helps, but it's not everything? How do you view like being an influencer?
I mean, it's funny that people say I'm an influencer because, I'm not working with any like huge brands right now, but it's crazy. Like, I think people know that I'm going to be really dead honest about everything that I put out there on Instagram. So, I guess I am an influencer because it comes from a place of total honesty, and I haven't sold out yet, but listen, I mean, Grant, but between you, me, and, your followers, like, I owe everything to Instagram. I was sick and tired of going on auditions in LA for things that necessarily weren't highlighting, what I was exactly good at. And then to be able to just put out my own material and not have to wait for anybody else to give me the green light to be funny and create content has been so refreshing. And the fact that my followers, always share my stories and they keep things viral and they keep me humble and keep me also on my toes and excited and ready to work. I owe a lot to Instagram. It's been an amazing platform.
Well, I can always turn to you for a dose of reality and real talk. And that's my whole thing. That's, I guess, my brand, if I had to say it too. But like, that's what I resonate with more than anything. It's just that realness. So I can always go to you for the truth. And that's not easy to find in this fake influencer culture that we have that I can't stand. All the fakery. Right. And I don't get that with you.
Well, when people call me an influencer, I'm like, no, I'm just a real girl being honest about things.
Amen.
So if I'm influencing you to do good and not evil through that, then fine, call me an influencer. But you're not going to see me hawking any flat tummy tea that's going to give you diarrhea for a week like the Kardashians. I'm going to be honest about what I really love.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to congratulate you on the engagement before we go. So happy for you. And I saw your Insta stories. I hope you can get something to sponsor that wedding. It sounds like there's a lot going on.
I'll take a page from Lisa Rinna's book. And if, somebody wants to sponsor that, I don't care if it's Subway sandwiches and we get married in Italy, I'll serve Subway. I am smarter than spending my own damn dime for something that we all know everyone's going to tune into. So, and I also Subway, don't send me a message. I don't want you sponsoring me, but you get my point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're going to Star Jones effect. That's what you need to put into place. The full Star Jones effect for the wedding.
Yeah. When I see my friends who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million on the wedding, I'm like, that's insane. If I can, you do a deal with Aperol, the brands that I already love, then why not? Let's do it.
I saw that Jackie O Problems wedding. Oh my God. Like that. I've never seen a wedding like that.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and I left so humble because, you know, I thought like I really had my Pinterest board perfectly pinned and everything was right and tight. And then I left that wedding and I said, well, we got to burn the board because I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. The stakes and the bar have been raised.
Yeah, I bet. Well, thanks for doing the show. I so appreciate it. And I love getting your take on these things. We covered a lot. And yeah, I mean, it was a lot to discuss, some heavy things and then some ridiculous things, including Dina. And I love when you talk Lohan with me.
I love talking Lohan, and I'm sure we're going to have more to discuss in the coming weeks and months. Hopefully she finally meets his boyfriend. So please bring me back if she ever does a live reveal with the boyfriend of 5 years who she's never met.
I'm watching closely. As usual, I'm the only one, but I am covering her very closely, and I will let you know.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. Love you for ranting with me. And as always, we'll be back with more rants. My thanks to Heather. Find her on Instagram. Where can we find you and anything else you'd like to promote?
You know, just find me on Instagram because that's where I put all the good news up into the world. It's just Heather K. McMahan. And looking forward to getting some new followers and meeting y'all.
Perfect. Love you. Thank you again. And we'll be back.
Ciao.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon at patreon.com/Grant's Rants. Follow Grant on Twitter and Instagram at It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by Howie Rone. Voiceover by Aw Yeah! Original theme music by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.